Even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won. Steve said fight out of the clinch. Yeah. That's what we were going to do. He came in the back and was like, I'm going to let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you're not holding and hitting.
Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach have begun a very heated rivalry that looks to now go well beyond boxing, especially after the result of their fight on March 1st that saw Lamont Roach get an unlucky majority draw against the Baltimore champion. While they used their punches on fight night, they have now used the tools of social media to throw punches, and it's getting really heated. The ring of Twitter, formerly known as X, has been filled with virtual blood and wounds from the punches these men have thrown at each other. And now, they jumped to an Instagram live session that got so intense that they both had no choice but to promise each other a rematch. But this happened after Lamont Roach got some very shocking news from the New York State Athletic Commission.
No, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him to leave his mom's and, the people home, and he still broke them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man. But, it's all love.
The New York State Athletic Commission has delivered its final verdict following the knockdown controversy which surrounded Gervonta Davis's draw with Lamont Roach on March 1st. Davis retained his WBA lightweight title at the Barclays Center in New York, with the fight ending in a majority draw. Two judges scored the bout 114, with another scoring it 115 for Davis. In the 9th round, Davis took a knee following a series of punches from Roach.
If I hit him with a little jab or whatever the case, that ain't nothing. Or if he hit me, or if I block a shot, I was like, too slow. Or, stuff like that.
Although referee Steve Willis started to count, he stopped doing so after he reached 3. Davis had gone to his corner complaining that he had something in his eye. After stopping the count, Willis allowed Davis to get his eye cleaned prior to restarting the contest. Fans were left frustrated with the officiating, while Roach would have won the fight had a knockdown been given. As reported by ESPN, the New York State Athletic Commission have upheld the result, which ended in a majority draw. The commission's ruling stated that following an extensive after-the-fact review of the footage of the 9th round, that the most appropriate call would have been for the referee to determine that Mr. Davis's knee contacting the canvas constituted a knockdown.
You bring your mother?
She right there. You ain't hear her ask, why the fuck would you leave me?
What?
I mean, that's just out her mouth, straight up.
What? Why you bring?
However, the determination of whether a knockdown occurred in that instance was within the discretion and authority of the referee. It was also stated that if a knockdown had been called, it would have been impossible to know if the final 3 rounds would have stayed the same. The New York State Athletic Commission claimed that instant replay technology was not working during the fight. After the fight, Davis said that he took a knee because grease from a hair treatment burned his eyes.
What you mean why I bring her? She love to see me whoop ass. See? I bet. Yeah, what you ain't too.
The boxing world expected fireworks when Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. stepped into the ring, but no one anticipated the controversy that followed. After the WBA super featherweight title bout ended in a disputed draw, Roach's team appealed to the New York State Athletic Commission, hoping for an overturned decision. However, despite acknowledging a referee's mistake in the 9th round, the commission ruled that the draw would stand. Roach Jr., clearly frustrated by the outcome, has only one way to settle the score, getting Davis back in the ring. But how soon will that happen? According to his promoter, the fight is almost a done deal, though some final steps remain.
In my view, that I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win.
In a recent interview with Pro Box TV, Roach's promoter Gary Jonas gave fans a promising update. A clip shared by Thrill Boxing on Instagram quoted Jonas saying the rematch is very close and, in his mind, a done deal. However, he admitted that formalities still need to be sorted out before anything is official. Jonas also hinted at a new and improved Gervonta Davis stepping into the ring this time. The Baltimore-born fighter, who has been teasing retirement, might come back sharper and more aggressive than ever. He's probably going to be angry, probably more woken up, probably more focused than he had been, Jonas stated.
Just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot.
While Davis remains quiet on the details, Roach Jr. has been vocal about his desire for revenge. Frustrated by how the first fight played out, he recently took to social media to push for the rematch, even going as far as betting $250K on the outcome. With Davis reportedly aiming to settle the score by the end of May, the anticipation is at an all-time high. The only question now is, will the champion go ahead and rewrite his wrong, or would he just put in another display that'll make the boxing world believe he's truly done? And this is something many are believing already.
I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump, and I'm more than motivated to.
Gervonta Tank Davis's history of slow starts nearly caught up to him Saturday night. Davis's defense of his WBA lightweight championship against Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a majority draw in front of a stunned sold-out crowd of 19,250 at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Davis retained his title in a fight he would like to soon forget. Two judges scored the fight 114. 114, while a third judge scored it 115. 113 in Davis's favor. ESPN scored the fight 114. 114. Lamont is a great fighter, Davis said after the fight. He got the skills, like I said before. He got punching power. It was a lesson. Hopefully, we can run it back. In a strange scene that could have turned the tide of the fight, Davis inexplicably took a knee in the 9th round after getting touched by a jab, but referee Steve Wilkes decided not to score a knockdown for Roach. Davis suggested the reason he went to a knee was because grease from his hair had gotten into his eye. The fight resumed with no penalty, but the knockdown could have swung the pendulum in favor of Roach.
My own live, but I went back and I watched it, and shit, Tank lost that fight, period. And that's even without the knockdown, he lost.
Had the knockdown been called, Roach could have won the 9th round by a 10-8 score. Instead, two of the judges scored the round 10, 9 for Davis. I just got my hair done 2 days ago and she put grease in my hair, Davis said. When I was sweating and things like that, it burned my eyes. Roach didn't disagree with Davis's assessment of the situation. However, he made it clear that the rules are the rules and he should have been awarded a knockdown. If you take a knee and the ref starts counting, it should be a knockdown, Roach said. If that's a knockdown, I win the fight. I'm not banking on that knockdown to win. I just thought I pulled it out.
The fight. Yeah, just didn't do enough work. I thought that Roach's game plan was man.
Davis entered the fight as a massive favorite and was expected by many to collect his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. Behind a pro-Davis crowd, Tank was unable to give the fans the highlight reel finish they have come to expect from the Baltimore native. Instead, Roach stood in the line of fire, absorbed what the hard-hitting Davis had to offer, and responded with shots that stunned not only Davis, but those in attendance. The notoriously patient Davis got off to a slow start in the early rounds as he waited for Roach to make a mistake that he could capitalize on. But Roach refused to give Davis the window to counter and press the action. Davis smiled and talked to Roach early in the fight, but had to get serious once he realized that his opponent wouldn't wilt under the bright lights. Roach Jr., 29, had faced Davis in the amateurs and fell short.
Let's start there, too. I feel like Lamont definitely won. All right, G. I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw,
Their careers went in different directions once they turned pro, with Davis being one of boxing's biggest stars, and Roach being known as a solid fighter who lost in his only other opportunity at a world championship in a defeat to Jamel Herring for the World Boxing Organization super featherweight title in 2019. Davis's ascent to stardom was punctuated by his knockout win over Ryan Garcia in 2023, where he laid claim to be the face of boxing. He almost let the title slip away in an underwhelming performance. Their history may have given Davis a false sense of confidence heading into the fight, but Roach was well prepared for everything Tank had to offer, including his renowned fight-ending power. By the middle rounds, Davis's smile dissolved, and he realized that the knockout he expected wouldn't come easy. The champion began to let his hands go to create openings, but Roach held his ground and caught the champion with counters and combinations. Davis worked almost exclusively to the body, banging away as Roach stayed on the front foot and pushed forward. Undeterred, Roach would sneak a counter in whenever Davis's assault stalled. In round 8, Roach stunned Davis with a counter right hand. Although Davis was never in any real danger, the counterpunching signaled that he couldn't rumble recklessly. I feel like I was breaking him down as the rounds were going on, but he kept coming, so I didn't want to make any mistakes, Davis said. I kept it cautious. Realizing the fight could be slipping away, Davis, 30, pressed the action in the championship rounds. Although he landed some big power shots, he never came close to hurting Roach, but the activity gave him the final 2 rounds on all 3 scorecards to salvage the draw and leave New York with the title. Davis landed 103 of 279 punches in an extremely economic affair, while Roach was more active, landing 112 of 400 punches.
It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did, for real.
I'm just a little disappointed in the decision, Roach said. I thought I pulled it out, but that's what 2 skilled fighters do. I definitely thought I won, but we could run it back. Even though I didn't win tonight, I thought I did, but it's a win for me in my book. We are not satisfied with that. We need a real W. Danny Garcia's father had an interesting take on what some believed was not the best performance from Gervonta Tank Davis. Davis drew with Lamont Roach this weekend and may have slipped in the pound-for-pound rankings this weekend for some.
We kept trying to tell y'all, Lamont ain't that bad. Lamont, that shit fucked my head up.
Speaking to Fight Hype after the fight, Garcia Sr. said, "Yeah, because of the pressure of life. You're an athlete, bro. A lot of pressure comes with the game, bro, and behind the scenes, the stuff, you know what I'm saying, that people don't hear about, your family, other stuff you have to worry about, a million things that fall on top of you. The world falls on top of you, brother. Davis has been flying high in recent years, and everyone has a bad night every now and then. Hopefully a rematch can be made, or at least a big fight for Davis to get him motivated for." One judge gave the nod to the champion while the other 2 called it a draw, meaning that Davis taking a knee in the 9th round, which was bizarrely not called a knockdown by referee Steve Willis, should have swung the bout in Roach's favor. Speaking to Boxing Gems, Hall of Fame fighter turned analyst Tim Bradley said that was unacceptable.
Yeah, they made the rules up as, you know, of course, Tank the house fighter. They made the rules up. Yeah, that was bullshit. It should have been called a knockdown. You can't take a break like that. The only person that can do that is the referee.
The knee was crap. They made the rules up. Tank's the house fighter. It should have been called a knockdown. You can't take a break like that. The only person that can do that is the referee. The referee can stop the action, not the other way around. Tank basically told him, "Hey, I got something in my eye, guy. I need to go to the corner so they can wipe it out." You don't get timeouts like that in boxing. That should have been a knockdown. Period. Bradley then revealed that after watching the action twice, he had Roach as the winner.
The referee can stop the action and say, "Hey, let me take you to the corner so they can wipe it out." You don't get timeouts like that in boxing, yo. So that was bullshit.
I already went back and watched it. Tank Davis lost. I wasn't scoring it the first time around. People were asking me, "Who do you think won that round?" I was like close or whatever, because I was on my own live. But I went back and I watched it, and damn, Tank lost that. Even without the knockdown he lost. He just didn't do enough work. Davis has said he is open to a rematch, but it won't happen next, leading to speculation that he already had his next opponent lined up pre-fight.
That should have been a knockdown, period. I've already went back and I watched it. Tank lost. I watched it I watched it when I wasn't scoring.
Renowned commentator and broadcaster is apparently getting back into the highest level of the boxing game soon and gave his latest take. Lampley is known for expert analysis over the years for HBO. Speaking to Fight Hype after the Tank versus Roach draw this weekend in NYC, Lampley said of a possible Shakur-Stevenson fight, Stevenson has a reputation as being the best defender in the division. He is a feared fighter because of that particular quality. If I'm Tank Davis and I'm coming off a disappointment in terms of my offensive output, I'm not going straight to the best defender in the division.
Yeah, they made the rules up. As you know, of course, Tank the house fighter. They made the rules up. Yeah, that was bullshit. It should have been
I'm looking for some other fight, and I think the logical fight for him is a rematch with Lamont Roach. Let's see it again. Let's see if Roach can go ahead and capitalize on what he showed here tonight, which is that he was a much better fighter at 135 pounds than most of us expected him to be. The knockdown had the power to change the overall score of the fight, but Tank Davis was lucky to snatch a draw from the match, a situation that has now sparked several conversations from the entire boxing world.
I think that it was a good fight on both sides, and I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he
Jeff Mayweather, who was part of the trainers at Mayweather Promotions, where Gervonta Davis started his career, felt the same way like many other boxing professionals who saw the fight as a loss for Gervonta Davis and as a robbery for Roach. He highlighted that Lamont Roach did something that no opponent had ever done against Tank. As Tank brought the heat to him, he returned it, and that made Tank out of options. Without a knockout, he became helpless. I think that it was a good fight on both sides, and I think that Roach actually won the fight. I think he outworked Tank. I thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always would. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him, like you always do, and then go to work. But this time, when he went to work, the guy went back to work. So he had somebody that was firing back at him the same way.
He threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him.
I thought he did pretty good almost throughout the fight. I mean, there were a few rounds where he didn't do that well. But I mean, I thought that he won the fight. Clearly, you don't see Gervonta as the Gervonta that I know. I mean, I'm a big Gervonta fan, but I didn't see any of the Gervonta that I'm used to seeing. One thing is that he fought at the right distance and he let his hands go. And that's the most important part. That's how you win a fight, by letting your hands go. I mean, Gervonta was sitting back waiting like he normally does, and then all of a sudden he finished him. He always finishes opponents, but this time it doesn't happen. Then Jeff Mayweather was asked about the dramatic scene in the 9th round, where Gervonta Davis took a knee and blamed the grease in his hair afterwards.
The one thing is that he fought at the right distance, and he let his hands go. And that's the most.
Again, Jeff Mayweather called it a knockdown, like many boxing professionals did. That should have been called a knockdown, and I mean, I didn't understand that. And after the fight, he said, hey, you know, I just had my hair done. I had grease in my hair, got in my eye. Well, that's his problem. That's a slippery slope. You can't have people taking knees for all kinds of reasons saying, well, you know, my cup was loose or whatever. You can't blame your hair and then say it's okay, and you get a 15-second break. Boxing fans had hoped that a victory for WBA lightweight champion Davis may have set up a future unification showdown against WBC champion Stevenson later this year. It certainly didn't transpire that way, though, as Davis was held to a controversial draw against Roach, with the main talking point coming in the 9th round.
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
Tank shocked those watching when he voluntarily opted to take a knee and retreat to his corner, but the referee opted not to count it as a knockdown. The fight went the full 12-round distance and ended with the judges scoring at 115, 113 Davis, and 114 twice, meaning it ended in a majority decision draw, though Roach would have won if the knockdown had been scored. What are your thoughts on Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach? Let's know them in the comments section. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, the world.